Good morning, Your Honor. May I please report? I'm Stella Lane, representing the appellant in this case, PETROLEUM. I request a 3-minute rebuttal time. Your Honor, the PETROLEUM position in this appeal is that neither the summary judgment evidence nor the trial evidence established that there was a de facto merger between PETROLEUM and Finial Custom.
Counsel, it seems to me that this case is going to be decided based upon whether this court believes that the concept of de facto merger involves elements that must be strictly met, like in a manner, or is a more flexible concept that has absorbed the continuity of business doctrine, as in the laboratory corporation case. Isn't that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
We've got to go one way or the other here. We've either got to say this manner controls or laboratory corp controls, and be in conflict with one of the lines of cases.
Yes, Your Honor. It is PETROLEUM's position that the most comprehensive case on de facto merger is the Munich or the Munich case. The other cases, as we've set forth, are distinguishable or they don't really talk about the de facto merger theory, but it's really the mere continuation of business theory. Your Honor,
but aren't we really talking here about equitable theories that have been developed to deal with situations of establishing successor liability in a case? I mean, it's all, these are all common law concepts, are they not?
Yes, Your Honor. One has to look at the why these exceptions were created, first of all. Basically, the traditional corporate law rule basically says a successor corporation is not liable for the liabilities of the predecessor corporation unless these 4 exceptions, or one of the 4 exceptions, are met. And there are only 4. And the Florida Supreme Court, in the Bernard case, although that was a products liability case, refused to expand the corporate law rule because of the detrimental impact it would have on our small businesses if the corporate law rule was expanded. So essentially, by relaxing any of the elements of a de facto merger would be essentially expanding the corporate law rule. There are 4 exceptions, and they're very distinct.
Let's stop for a minute with the Bernard case.
Yes,
I think that's, as I read the cases, that's one of the few, if not only, case in which the Florida Supreme Court has discussed the concept. But it was in the context of product liability.
Yes, Your Honor.
Why shouldn't the product liability tort situation be a different situation than what we have?
It shouldn't be different because even though this was a product liability, the logic that the court uses should be the same for all predecessor, successor corporations. Just like for a non-product liability, small business, successor company, if it were to be liable for the predecessor's liability just because there's an asset purchase, which is what really happened here, that would be detrimental to our small businesses, which is the foundation of our, that's a very important part in our capitalism. And as far as the corporate law rule, Your Honor, it may be the de facto merger theory as...
Well, just let me ask you procedurally, what was available to them? Could they prevail on the idea of the continuing business? Or in other words, is the de facto merger the only way they could have won?
I don't think so, Your Honor. The appellees, the Brewer, cited case law, which is really mere continuation of business cases. Now, obviously, Your Honor, I'm not saying that they would have won on that theory either. However, what their position is that there should be...
I didn't ask my question very well. My question is this. If we decide that there is evidence so they could have prevailed on the continuation of business theory, should we affirm or should we reverse if we're also persuaded that the de facto merger theory doesn't quite fit here?
You should reverse, Your Honor, because there are distinct theories, and continuation of business was never part of a claim against PETROLEUM.
Never pleaded.
No, Your Honor, and the appellees concede in their, I believe in their brief, that Petroleum in any way was there a de facto merger between Finial Custom and Casey Petroleum, which the jury said yes.
Right, without any instruction about what the elements might be.
I believe there was a jury instruction on de facto merger, Your Honor, but that is not an issue for the appeal.
What are the elements? How do we decide whether the evidence was sufficient?
The elements are, there are 4 elements, and the Munum case is very straightforward. One is continuation of the selling corporation as evidenced by the identical or same management, personnel, assets, and physical location. The second one is continuity of stockholders. The third element is the dissolution of the selling corporation. And the fourth element is the assumption of liabilities. Your Honor, we're not conceding in any way that all the other elements except for the dissolution of the corporation is met, but I'm going to go directly to that element, Your Honor, because that is the black and white one. Basically, there was no evidence that showed that there was a dissolution of Finial Custom.
Well, that's the same. It was the same situation in Munum, right?
Your Honor, exactly. And the Munum case actually was, in my opinion, much more like de facto merger than in our case. In the Munum case, and the court essentially said they basically took out the Munum PA sign and slapped on the new Pulmonary Associate sign. Everything was the same, especially the president and the sole shareholder, Dr. Munum, basically was the sole shareholder and president of the new company. And the court still said, despite that, the technical dissolution of the corporation element had not been met, therefore no de facto merger. And that's very
So you read the Supreme Court's opinion in that case to say no de facto merger, just continuation of business.
Yes, Your Honor. The court DCA's case, Your Honor. It was then Judge
That's right.
Marietta.
That's right. Marietta is district court judge, right?
Yes, Your Honor. And
Let me ask you a question
yes,
about
sir.
you challenged the trial court's ruling on a number of different things, both pre-trial and post-trial. And I guess help me understand, at least for the pre-trial rulings on a motion for summary judgment, didn't the existence of this letter from the prior organization to its client saying we have merged, wouldn't that be in and of itself sufficient to defeat a motion for summary judgment such that it was proper to at least take the case to the jury?
No, Your Honor, because that merger letter has nothing to do with any of the elements, especially if you, like I said, if we hone in the dissolution of the corporation element, how does that support that it was dissolved in any way?
Well, nothing else out of that was an implicit assumption of liabilities. Although, as you point out, that was not pleaded.
Yes, Your Honor, and it could be an assumption of liability. Again, we're not conceding that, but the Munum case is clear that all 4 elements must be met. The words they use, the court uses the words must be met and uses the and before the 4th element.
So what do we do with the 5th DCA's opinion, where they, in the laboratory corporation, where they cite the Munum and then say, to determine if a de facto merger has occurred, the finder of fact may look at any factors reasonably indicative of commonality or of distinctiveness. The bottom line question is whether each entity has run its own race or whether there has been a relay-style passing of the baton from one to the other.
Are you talking about the Orlando case, Your Honor?
I'm talking about the Laboratory Corporation of America versus Professional Recovery Network, 13 Southern 2nd, 266. DCA case.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, I guess that case has not been in my brief or the appellate, or am I missing something?
It in turn cited the 300-pound owl
Okay.
association.
Yes, Your Honor.
Relied upon that case.
Yes, Your Honor. The 300-pine case is the one that I heavily rely upon. And the 300-pine case is another 4th DCA case, which Munum case is from, that preceded Munum. And the 300-pine case also cites the Orlando Light case, which is the 5th DCA case. And the exact language that the appellees use from the 300-pine Orlando case law is, they argue that that language says it's a more of a liberal test for de facto merger. However, when you read Judge Perriente's opinion in Muno, she makes it very clear that that language is for mere continuation of business. She basically acknowledges that its court used that language, adopted from the Orlando case, the 50 CA case. But the court basically said, although de facto merger was used, and I'm sorry, although the words of de facto merger were used, clearly the standard being applied was primarily that of mere continuation of business. So the exact language, the baton relay case, that kind of language, is a mere continuation of business case. And that case actually came from a different jurisdiction case. I believe it's the Oman International case, which is the District of Rhode Island case. And that case was a mere continuation of business case. The plaintiff did not allege in any way there a de facto merger. So I believe the two mere continuation and de facto merger have been blended, even though Justice Perriente says they are distinct. And they are distinct because there are four distinct elements, exceptions to the corporate law rule, and those are the two separate ones.
Okay, so here the predecessor corporation continues to exist, although perhaps simply as a device to prevent liability on the part of the successor corporation. There is no continuity of ownership.
No.
What are the other two?
There's no continuity of stockholders. They're at all times two separate stockholders and officers. There's no dissolution, and there's no assumption of liabilities.
Right. So we're looking like 1 out of 4.
Possibly. The only thing that they may have possibly meant is the first one, because it was the same location, and it was a different management, and not all the personnel went to the other corporation, but that could be maybe the closest one they could achieve. But the other three, clearly there's no evidence, especially that dissolution of corporation. The Reno case makes it clear. That would be the only one. Even if that is the only one the court finds was not established, that's enough to say no de facto merger. My time's up for now, Your Honor, so
Do you agree with her view of the Buddha or Benin case that it does not rest on the de facto merger view?
And one of the first comments, may it please support. My name is Brewer, I'm Ray Robinson, and we have the pleasure of representing the athletes. We do not agree with the appellant's analysis of the Muno decision. One of the first notes on my outline this morning was the need to correct a misstatement that we had in our brief that the Muno court in fact held that there was no de facto merger. If you really read Muno, what it says is that the technical requirement of corporate dissolution was not met. That's all it says about whether or not there's a de facto merger or not. It then analyzes 300 times out by saying that they were primarily talking about a mere continuation of the business. But nowhere in the Muno decision does it says there was no de facto merger. What is interesting is that the trial court in Muno found both the de facto merger and mere continuation. Just the 4th DCA affirmed the liability holding of the trial judge without comment, without clarification on whether or not it's de facto or mere continuation. The only reversal in Muno was as to an element of damages. So one can certainly argue that it was implicit in Muno that the 4th DCA did not adopt the de facto merger finding, but nowhere to in that opinion, and I believe it's subject to interpretation.
Do you agree with counsel that the jury in this case was instructed as to the elements?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. As a matter of fact, there is a jury instruction. We pulled that earlier in the week, and we note, although this is not in the briefs, that there was no objection to it. The jury was registered.
Do you have a record site for that for us?
Trouble finding it. No, sir, I apologize. As a matter of fact, we had trouble finding it ourselves, but what's one of the things we looked for. There was a jury instruction on de facto merger.
And briefly, if it can be done, what would the essence of it?
If I recall correctly, it included the 4 elements of same assets, personnel, location, continuity of shareholders, dissolution of corporation, and assumption of liabilities.
What is the evidence on continuity of shareholders?
This is where I have to rely on Judge Van Norwick's observation that there may need to be a flexible interpretation rather than a right line interpretation. On the continuity of shareholders, bear in mind you're dealing with two essential single owner companies. Mr. Corbier was 100% shareholder of Casey Petroleum. Mr. Rogers and his wife, I think, jointly owned it, but his wife was not active except for accounts receivables of the corporation. When Finial Custom Builders became a division of Casey Petroleum under the name of Finial Builders, they described it as a corporation, Finial Builders, Inc. That Mr. Rogers was the president of Finial Builders, Inc. And that even though Mr. Corbier had veto power, Mr. Rogers was essentially the sole manager, if you will, of this new division, which did the very same thing that Finial Custom Builders did.
I'm sorry if I confused you. What about continuity of shareholders?
Mr. Rogers did not get stock when he moved.
In other words, there was none, and there's no evidence of any.
We would argue, with all due respect, Judge Benton, that just like dissolution of corporation, one could avoid that by not issuing a share of stock. But if you give the guy total control over this new division, is he not in the sense of a shareholder?
And he has no ownership, right? So I don't know what we're talking about, the sense of a shareholder.
We do not know of any actual ownership Mr. Rogers had in Casey Petroleum. That's right.
Thanks.
Mr. Wells, what impact here does the letter, if I recall the record correctly, that was sent out to customers of Finial Custom, maybe it's Finial Builders, saying that they're now a part of Casey Petroleum and they can, as a result, they can provide more service?
We believe that letter is extremely critical. I believe Judge Rowe will ask some question. The letter was sent out on Finial Custom Builders letterhead signed by Mr. Rogers, and it doesn't say that we're now a part of it. It uses precise words, we have merged with Casey Petroleum. And I would note that the subsequent letter was sent out, signed by an officer of Casey Petroleum, similarly saying to vendors and subcontractors, we have merged. We believe that evidences the intent of Casey Petroleum and Finial Custom Builders, as to the nature of the transaction. At trial, we adduced evidence that Mr. Cormier was aware of the letters going out, he reviewed it before it went out, and he approved the letter. We believe that clearly indicates what the parties were thinking about the transaction.
And did counsel correctly characterize your position that you have not in this litigation, nor are you arguing on appeal, a continuity of business exception under the Bernard key?
We did not do that because it was our view of mere continuation, that it had to be the exact same entity who moved into the new entity because of the presence of Casey Petroleum, which was not a part of Finial Custom Builders. We did not believe that the precise definition of mere continuation. We felt that the fact of the merger was the more closely factually analogous exception to the traditional corporate rule.
And your argument, I guess, if the jury instructions set out those four elements, I guess, consistent with the Muniz case, you're arguing that your client, that you met those requirements, that the evidence established each of those four criteria, rather than there's some overarching gloss that should be placed upon those criteria. Help me understand where the difference is between parties.
And similar to the question the Judge Benton asked, we argued at trial on the elements that the jury was instructed on, that a flexible standard, as Judge Van Norwick noted, should be applied.
To those four elements.
To those four elements. And
There are no other elements that we need to be concerned about. It's just those four elements, and you ask that we view each of those elements liberally to promote the equity that this policy underlies. They're asking for a strict construction. Is that right?
not entirely. We argued the four elements, and the elements were included within the jury instruction. But we also note, as we've noted in our brief, that 300 Pine Island, as well as its progeny LabCorp, permit a more flexible interpretation that other factors can may be considered by the finder of fact, in determining whether or not a fact of murder has occurred. The prior two cases
I'm sorry, so you're saying in addition to the four factors we've been talking about, other factors may come into play?
Contrary to what the appellant has said in his brief, the Moon Court does not say you must consider these four elements. The Moon Court says there must be continuity evidenced by such factors as the four elements. I think when you take that and combine it with 300 Pine Island and the LabCorp decision, the finder of fact can look at other factors as well. The finder of fact, we believe, can look at a flexible version of the four elements in Moon. And that's what we argued at trial, and that's what the jury found, and of course sustained both on the directed verdict and post-trial motions.
So the four factors are really examples, you argue, for evidence of continuity of ownership.
Continuity of the continuity. There must be continuity of the selling entity. That's the overarching standard. That is evidenced by the four elements that Moon enunciated. 300 Pine Island and LabCorp and others talk about other factors may be considered by the finder of fact. We're comfortable with the four factors in Moon because if there is a flexible standard, then those can be met. With respect to whether or not sleeping dogs should lie, we believe that if, in a different analogy, if it looks like a duck, walks like a duck, and quacks like a duck, then it's in fact a merger in this case. And the assumption of liability, it's clear that there was no definitive assumption of liability.
Don't you think she has a good policy argument that if you make it sufficiently confusing, flexible, unclear, no small business is going to want to combine with any other for fear of what that may do to them when the creditors come out of the woodwork?
There is some attraction in that argument. There's also some attraction in the argument that you simply do not administratively dissolve to the Secretary of State, and you simply hold the corporation open, and you don't do anything with it. Even if you collect accounts receivables and deposit those into the account of a successor corporation, which was done here, that could be held to defeat the fact of merger. If you elect not to give your new partner a share of stock, but you make him head and chief bottle washer of this new division, which did the very same thing that the prior company did, you can defeat it. There are ways to defeat it, and the small businesses can do that.
So does the record reflect that there were dividends paid? These were corporate, or these individuals are just receiving salaries? So the ownership of the stock, if it didn't result in control, it didn't result in dividends, is really disregarded.
I don't believe there are any. The record does not reflect payment of dividends. I believe the record only reflects salary, loans from KC to Mr. and Mrs. Rogers, which are used to pay antecedent debts, and then accounts receivables from Finial Custom Builders deposited in accounts of KC to pay down those loans, which have no term nor interest payments attached to them.
You made a point of saying that the defendants here do not object to the jury instructions on the fact of the merger. Is it your contention that when we read those, we will see this continuity, overarching flexibility concept therein?
Yes, sir. I believe that the jury instruction that we offered, and none, I don't recall one being offered by the appellant on the issue. But there was no objection to the jury instruction either at charge conference nor as was given in trial. And my recollection, I apologize, I didn't bring it with me, is that it included the elements enunciated in Moon, and our argument at trial and the evidence that's presented at trial was more in the flexible vein as opposed to the strict narrow white line vein as advocated by appellant.
And counsel, you have not argued, I don't think, and didn't raise below that this was a fraudulent transfer because the payment, if there was any, for the assets was for less than fair consideration.
We do not argue fraudulent transfer. We have no reason to believe that the payment for the assets was for less than fair market value. There was evidence of loans, written evidence of loans. We felt that the facts best fit the fact of merger given.
Right, if you look at it as an accounting problem, they were getting the profits from the projects that had been profitable. Why should they have to take the loss from the project that didn't work out so well?
I apologize, I did not understand the question.
Well, I was trying to be helpful. I was saying that if you look at it as an accounting problem, and you gave the same treatment to the Brewer's house as to the projects which resulted in profit to the new corporation, then you would tag the new corporation.
That's correct.
The debt.
And I know that this whole issue of transfer from Finial custom builders to Finial builders arose in the context of a number of homeowners having issues. They were all coalescing at the same time. That's in the record. And all of a sudden, we have the merger letter of January 30th, plus a subsequent letter in March 2006, reconfirming the merger notion by Casey Petroleum and Finial builders.
And there was also, was there not some sort of communication between the new owner, the principal of the Casey Petroleum and the Brewers as to resolving their dispute? I know it didn't get resolved, obviously, but there was that communication.
That occurred in late December 2005 when things were really getting ugly. Mr. Cormier called the Brewers and requested a meeting. That meeting never occurred, and from that point, shortly thereafter, that you had the fictitious name registration filing with Casey Petroleum, purchase of the assets, the merger letter, all those things occurred in the same general time frame.
So you would suggest, I assume, that perhaps at least at the summary judgment stage, that would be some sort of evidence that would support a continuity concept. You have the new principal of a new company is making contact, presumably in an effort to resolve a dispute or debt in an old company. That would seem to be evidence to me that includes summary judgment on the concept that there's been a merger of these companies.
That is correct. Not only was that fact argued at summary judgment, but we had shown the accounting payments made to Casey Petroleum directly, payments made to Finial Custom Builders, payments made to Finial Builders, all going into Casey's accounting. Obviously, the merger letters, the employees being transferred, the payments by Casey of loans to Rogers for using to pay antecedent debts, including attorney's fees, the liability that homeowners were involved in. So, all of that we felt was indicative of. We felt the best theory of law, and there wasn't the fact of that.
All right, thank you, Mr. Wells.
Thank you. On behalf of the Brewers, we would respectfully request that the judgment be overturned.
Rebuttal.
There are asked to be merger letters. As we pointed out in the case law, just because you call it something, especially with something that has a legal significance, it doesn't make it so. Just because a layman with no legal training calls something a contract, you don't have offer acceptance and consideration, that doesn't make it a contract. Just like it here, parties use the term merge. However, if all of the elements are there, it's not a de facto merger.
Do you agree with counsel that when the jury was instructed as to what they must find to answer that question, yes, that there was some flexibility built into that, or was it A, B, C, and D, period?
Your Honor, I honestly don't remember exactly what the jury instruction said, because, like I said, it's not an appeal, but I honestly don't remember, Your Honor. It could be, if I don't remember, if it had the 4 distinct elements. I guess the point is, if it didn't have the 4 distinct elements, it still is not an issue here. It's a de novo review as to summary judgment ruling and a motion for directed verdict. And I think it really doesn't, what the jury instruction said doesn't really come into play as to the issues in this appeal for a de novo review.
New trial motion.
Yes, Your Honor.
But in Unum, as counsel for the appellate points out, the 4th DCA affirmed the judgments of the trial court, which included a ruling on de facto merger, even though the 4th DCA said, the technical requirement of dissolution of the predecessor corporation was not established. It seems to me that I read that as sort of a flexible application of the 4 elements.
Your Honor, I believe in that case, because the mere continuation of business and de facto merger were brought in, and I believe that case says they were kind of blended in, the court kind of distinguished them, first of all, saying that they are distinct. And first said there is no de facto merger, however, there is mere continuation of business, therefore the summary judgment is affirmed. I think if you read, and also if you read the language for de facto merger, Your Honor, it clearly shows all 4 must be there, because, again, the Munich court said all of the events, talking about the 4 elements, such as dissolution, need not occur at the same time. What does that mean? That means, although they don't have to occur at the same time, they all have to occur.
But did the court in Unum hold that there was no de facto merger there? I don't find that hold.
Your Honor, it doesn't say specifically, I hold that there's no de facto merger. But if you look at the opinion, it says the technical element of dissolution is not there.
But I read that to say it's not there, but we still affirm.
Affirm because it is a mere continuation of business.
But that's not what they said. We affirm the judgments of the trial court, except for the failure to consider award damages for the 3rd year. They don't say we affirm on the continuity of business here.
Well, there was the judgment in the main case and the judgment in the supplemental proceedings. And by saying that, the court was saying the money is owed without approving or disapproving any specific theories as you're reading.
Yes, Your Honor. Then I think because they were blended claims, in this specific case, unlike in our case, the court affirmed because there was a mere continuation of business. But if you look at the cases that they, Unum court cites, like Arnold Graphics, which is, I believe, a circuit court case, in that case, they say all the elements of the de facto merger were met, therefore there is a de facto merger. If you look at the cases that underlie these opinions, it's clear that all 4 must be there. And as far as the policy argument that any corporation could just stay open and evade liability, that's also contrary to the facts. It's contrary to the corporate law rule. Again, you should not expand that rule. But facts here, Your Honor, they did this joinder or asset purchase before the Brewers canceled their construction contract with Finial Custom. Also, it was Finial Custom that brought the lawsuit